Going to look ahead to one of those earlier matches that I've just mentioned, which sees the League One table toppers and big spenders Birmingham host Newcastle today in a potential banana skin for the Magpies. Newcastle are a game away from winning their first League Cup, having booked their trip to Wembley this week after beating Arsenal 4-0 on aggregate. But today their attention turns to the FA Cup, where they head to a Birmingham side full of confidence. After spending £30 million in the summer following their surprise relegation to League One, the Blues are flying high at the top. They are 4 points clear of second place Wycombe and 8 ahead of Wrexham in third, with 2 games in hand on both as well. So promotion perhaps very much on the agenda for them, and it's all going very well. But the small distraction now of an FA Cup tie to look forward to. And for more on this, we're joined by the Blues Focus podcaster, Sam Sheppy. Sam, good morning to you. How are you doing?
Hi, Sam.
Yeah, very good, thank you. Good morning, guys. And the way you're talking us up there, it's very refreshing to hear as a Birmingham fan that we're actually doing well for once.
Do you know what? Do you know what, Sam? What's quite incredible, that relegation, it feels like, and you know, everyone will no, it's not this, but to get relegated, but it feels like that moment was the change of Birmingham City, because now you're getting 26,000 average crowds. You're top of the league, and it feels like the investment and Brady and all the bigger plans. It feels like there's a lot happening at the club now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the last time on the show I was speaking was before that final day against Norwich. And when we did get relegated, you just have that sinking feeling, because I'm sure that many football fans can appreciate that getting relegated is the worst feeling in football, really. But as you said, it's kind of been a bit of a blessing in disguise, because it's given us this new platform, a new canvas to kind of reset the way that we play our football, get a new manager in, get a lot of new players in as well, and really press that refresh button. And it's worked out so well so far this season. And we've got a big tie now against Newcastle, where it's a bit of a free hit for us because of the calibre of team that Newcastle are, and it's the fact that it's at home as well at St Andrews with a capacity crowd expected. It's going to be a real good spectacle.
So for those that obviously don't watch Birmingham regularly, you mentioned the new manager Chris Davies that came in the summer from Tottenham. Just tell us a little bit about the style that Birmingham play. How are you going to cause Newcastle problems today?
Well, I think we're going to have to adapt somewhat, because if we play a high line like we do in League One against Newcastle with the likes of Isak and Gordon, etc., play, then we could get slaughtered, couldn't we? So I think it's going to be a little bit of a compromise in style. But the way I like to describe Chris Davies' ball is kind of, more possession than the other team, but possession with purpose, definitely, because when we're in possession, it's not just kind of passing it around the back or sideways. It's very much, heading towards the goal, getting a lot of shots off. And I think what Chris Davies just spoke about as well is the pressing from the front and the intensity of that, because our forward players work so hard, and the defence really starts from the front with the likes of Jay Stansfield, Alfie May, Keshi Anderson, really putting pressure on the defenders. So if Newcastle think they're going to come to St Andrews and have a lot of the ball and not really have many problems, and they could have a problem coming. And I'm speaking them up very early, but got to get that one in earlier.
Well, Sam, look, you mentioned one forward, Jay Stansfield. He's done really well. He's obviously come down the level to play for you and got a lot of goals.
Yes, definitely. And a lot of people did expect it with the price tag and everything, but I think it was a smart move from the board to make Jay Stansfield the marquee player of this season, because he played well for a team last season that in general done very bad, hence why we got relegated. And he's had to somewhat compromise his style this season, because in the Championship it was a lot of balls in behind for him to chase onto and score goals, whereas now in League One he's getting the ball to feet a lot, because the problem that we're facing in League One is that a lot of teams are sitting very deep against us, which means that we have a lot of the ball and we have to work very hard in order to break these teams down. But Stansfield's done very well this season, our top goal scorer, and I suppose one of the players we're looking to cause problems against Newcastle.
Well, you've mentioned, obviously, Alexander Isak. If he plays, he could cause you all sorts of trouble, like he did against the Arsenal defenders in midweek, and many defenders as well. One interesting stat that might give you a little bit of hope coming into this one, Sam. As a top-flight side, Newcastle have been eliminated from the FA Cup by sides from a lower division 32 times. Only Everton have lost more to lower league opposition coming into this. And on a plus side, for Birmingham, only Millwall and Southampton have eliminated more top-flight sides more often than your own team. So the stats point towards a Birmingham victory.
Yeah, I mean, another stat I can add to that is that 2 of the last 11 visits that Newcastle have had to St Andrews, they haven't won. So it's a thing where it seems to be that maybe St Andrews is a bit of a bogey ground for Newcastle, but obviously Newcastle in this era is very different to previous eras, and I'm very aware of that. And yes, they're fighting on lots of different fronts, so it's going to be interesting to see what team they line up with as well, because for the game against Bromley, they made a lot of changes, but Eddie Howe spoke before the game and giving Chris Davis and Birmingham a lot of respect. So I imagine that they'll, show some respect by probably fielding a good 11. And as much as they've got one eye now on the Carabao Cup final, I'm sure they're going to want to fight on many fronts because Newcastle have gone on a long trophy drought. So I suppose the momentum that they can generate from winning games will do them very good.
Thanks, Sam. Brilliant.
Great to chat to you. Best of luck for the game.
Guys.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Cheers. All the best.
It is a 5:45.